Okay, my dear friends, let's get into it. Verse 37. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavatabis tabirya eva nijarupa taya kalabihi goloka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So this first phrase here, Ananda Chinmaya rasa means a mood, a flavor, like a experience of Ananda Chinmaya, or being consisting of being of joy and knowledge, ecstasy and knowledge. So the rasa, which consists of joy and knowledge, and we know this word's like sat, chit, and ananda. So here it's ananda chit maya, consisting of ananda, bliss or ecstasy, and chit, knowledge, rasa, that rasa. Pratibhavatabis is a compound word which means being fully imbued or absorbed or consisting of, a like soaked, steeped in it. So those that are fully absorbed, completely absorbed, consisting of the rasa, which consists of ananda and chit or chin, joy, ecstasy, and knowledge. Tabir means those who are absorbed fully in the rasa of ananda and knowledge, or joy and knowledge. Ya eva, certainly, nijarupa, and this is the magic word here. This nijarupa means whose form is of. And we translate that, Bhaktisiddhanda translates that as Radha. So Sri Radha, whose form is of Chinmaya rasa, or absorbed in this ecstasy and understanding. And from Radha, Kalabis, the associates come from that person. They're manifest from that person. So a little bit complicated, but let's see if we can rephrase this to make a little bit more sense. Sri Radha Nijarupataya, who is the embodiment, the form of the rasa of ecstasy and knowledge. The associates, kalabir, they certainly come from her form. So Radha comes from Krishna, just like we come from Krishna, but she manifests as this bhakti, this love, rasa of this anandachin, this knowledge and understanding with ecstasy. And that's her makeup. It's also our makeup. But we're little, and she's in complete this rasa of Krishna. And then Goloka Eva Nivasatya, that certainly he or they reside in Goloka, Kilatma Bhuto, who is the soul of all things that exist. So Krishna, who's the soul of all things that exist, reside in Goloka with the associates of Sri Radha, who are from her, and she is the embodiment of Anandachin, or the rasa of ecstasy and knowledge. Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. Haribol. Okay, so let's look at the translation here. I have in my translation essentially the translation of Bhaktisiddhanda. Generally, I kind of do a literal translation, but Bhaktisiddhanta's translation is so interpretive that it really didn't make sense. So I took his translation and I just changed a couple of words just so reads a little bit easier, but it's essentially the same thing. And so Bhaktisiddhanta's translation is, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, which is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha. So this part would be here, this Goloka Eva Nivasatya. Resembling his own spiritual figure. So she is resembling Krishna's figure, which is Nija Rupataya. She is her own figure, but she resembles also Krishna's figure. She like mirrors Krishna because Krishna is non-different from his energies, as we read in a previous verse. Resembling his own figure, the embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities. Now, this is definitely interpretive. It doesn't say anything in there about the 64 activities, but you can see here this Ananda Chit, or the knowledge, the knowing of Ananda, ecstasies. And so Bhaktisiddhanta is saying that the embodiment of ecstasies possessing of the 64 arts. So you would know the arts of ecstasy, and here he's referring to these 64 arts, which we'll talk about in the purport. In the company of her confidence, which we have here, Kalabi, she's part of them. They are part of her. The Sakhis, her friends. They are also absorbed in Rasa Ananda Chinmaya. So in the company of her confident Sakhis, embodiments of the extension of her bodily form, Kalabihi, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa. So you can put it together and see how this makes sense by saying Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, that would be his ever blissful spiritual rasa. Pratibhavitabis, fully absorbed. Here, in the company of her confident Sakhis, embodiments of the extension of her bodily form permeated and vitalized. So they are absorbed in this rasa. They are absorbed, fully and permeated in this rasa, which she is the embodiment of, the form of, and who would that person be but Sri Radha, and that Ananda Chin, the knowledge of the ecstasy, is manifest in the 64 artistic arts, and that he is residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure. And so here we have the Akilatma Bhutto, the soul of all things residing here in Goloka. So it's a little bit interpretive, but because it's interpretive, it really draws out the true, deep meaning of this verse. And it's really so deep and potent and powerful. This is the most important verse in the whole Brahma-samhita. It talks about Sri Radha, who she actually is, who her Sakhis are, and what's her place in Goloka as being the embodiment of the rasa of Ananda and Chit. Super, super amazing. Okay, my dear friends, we're going to go over the purport, but we're going to use the study guide, Bhaktisiddhanta's purport. As it is, this is a very complicated purport. It's very deep. I'll try my best to go back and forth, but I struggled with it. And so I'm going to use the study guide mostly to go over this. It's very long, very deep, as I've already mentioned, and so we really want to understand it. And so the study guide will help us through it. So the purport goes, the Supreme Lord and his divine power, although united in essence, exist eternally as separate entities as Radha and Krishna. And this divine power would be the chit potency, the pleasure potency, ecstasy, joy, ananda of Krishna as a separate entity, which would be Radha. So there's the person, Purusha, there's the Shakti, the Prakriti, the energy of Krishna, which is Sri Radha. And they are one, just like the sun and the sunshine are one, but at the same time, they're separate. Both in the transcendental Krishna and in the ecstatic energy, which is Radha, there exists Sringhar Rasa, or amorous love, whose quality is inconceivable. Within them is this love, this Sringhar, this mood to enjoy and engage in these loving, sporting activities. The extension of this mood is two-pronged, involving both support and stimulation. The support itself is of twofold: the sustained Radhika and her physical manifestations, the gopis, and the sustainer, Krishna. So there's the support, Radha, the gopis, and Krishna, and then there's the stimulation, which would be the arts and activities and the pastimes and all the things that they use to engage in their loving relations. Krishna is Govinda, the Lord of Goloka, and the gopis embody the supportive aspect of his emotional state. They are manifestations of Sri Radha. Krishna engages in eternal play with them in Goloka. Nijarupataya means with the attributes emanating from the ecstatic energy. So those gopi girls that emanate from Sri Radha, and the 64 arts, all the things that they do to engage in this anandachin maya, this rasa of bliss and knowledge. So here, Bhaktisiddhanda put down 64 activities or fine arts that the gopis and Sri Radha engage in to express this love. Now, I'm not going to get into the Sanskrit. It's a little bit too hard, like these words. I'm just going to read the English. You can go over yourself later. But like one of them, the first one is the art of singing, which means that how do you express your Sringhar, your amorous love to the person that you love? You may sing. The art of playing musical instruments. So we know the a typical like boy who will play his guitar out in front of his lover's home and serenade her. So playing an instrument, singing, these are activities that you would do to engage in your anandachin, your Sringhar, your rasa of ecstatic love. So I'm going to read through these. The art of singing, the art of playing musical instruments, the art of dancing, the art of acting in theater, the art of painting, the art of using colored ointments and cosmetics for body and face painting. Now realize, like this one, the art of creating offerings from rice and flowers, the art of making flowers bedspreads. So the gopis and Radha in Vrindavan, out in the forest of Vrindavan, they clear like a little grove and they create these places of pastimes. They create a bed, they bring food, they may play music, they may do some artistic actions, they may put gems, they may hang flowers, play instruments, so that when Krishna comes, they have a very sportive experience in this little grove in Vrindavan. So these are some of the things that they do. The art of making flowered bedspread, the art of using products for dental hygiene, clothing care, and body paint, the art of creating jeweled studded surfaces, the art of bed making, The art of making music with water. I want to also point out that none of this, and nowhere in this book, is there any sexuality between Radha, Krishna, and the gopis. It is juvenile. It is prepubescent. So it is very pure, very innocent, and not and no sexual activity amongst them. The art of making music with water, the art of splashing water, the art of mixing and applying colors, the art of creating decorative wreaths, the art of properly placing a small jeweled crown on the head, the art of efficiently getting dressed in the dressing room, the art of decorating the tragus of the ear. That's this little square part right here. You can Google it and take a look at the picture. The art of applying fragrances, the art of arranging and applying ornaments, the art of magic tricks or juggling, a specific form of art. I don't know what that is. The art of sleight of hand, the art of preparing various salads, breads, cakes, and delicious foods, the art of creating palatable drinks and coloring liquids red, the art of needlework and weaving, the art of playing with thread, the art of playing the lute and a small shaped drum. I've seen people play like a little drum and play this lute at the same time. The art of creating and solving riddles. Between Radha and Krishna and the gopis, they speak very sweetly and they create riddles back and forth and they argue very sweetly, and they do this double speak where they say one thing but they mean something else, and then they respond in one way which answers the first speak, but then it also answers the second speak. It's very charming. The art of reciting verses from memory or skill. The art of using language that is difficult for others to answer, means that double speak. You may hear it and not really know what they're talking about. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a chapter called the Venu Gita, where the gopis are glorifying Krishna's flute, but underneath it, they're actually glorifying Krishna and Radha and their pastimes in Vrindavan. The art of book recitation, the art of performing short plays and stories, the art of solving poetic enigmatic verses, the art of designing shields, canes, and arrows, the art of spindle spinning, I guess that's making thread, the art of carpentry, the art of architecture, the art of testing silver and gems, the art of metallurgy, the art of coloring gems, the art of mineralogy, the art of herbal medicine, the art of understanding the fighting methods of lambs, cocks, and birds. Some of this is pretty random. The art of understanding and maintaining conversation between male and female parrots. Now that one's interesting. Both Krishna and Radha have parrots, and they can speak to the parrots and send them off, and the parrots will fly around, collect information. Sometimes the parrots meet and argue with each other and discuss, and then they go back to Krishna and Radha and give information, like the gopis are over there, Krishna's over there, this and that, the other thing. The art of cleansing or purifying a person with perfumes. The art of combing hair. The art of communicating using signs and finger letters, like sign language. The art of understanding and creating complex foreign debates and arguments. The gopis and Sri Radha are very intelligent and they're very good at argument. The art of understanding provincial dialects, means they can speak to all the local people in their language. The art of understanding divination through sounds from the sky or creating toy carts from flowers. No idea. The art of mechanics. The art of using amulets. The art of engaging in conversation. The art of composing poetry in the mind, means they can create the poetry and then speak it on the fly. Freestyling poetry. The art of crafting a literary work or a medicinal remedy. The art of practice of developing namespace sacred spaces. That would be creating a space and then giving a name, like Radhakund is a sacred space named a specific thing. Govardhana, different names of forests in Vrindavan, like that. the art of using lexiconography and poetic meters, the art of concealing clothing, the art of a specific form of gambling, the art of playing games with dice or magnets, the art of using children's toys, the art of enforcing discipline, the art of achieving victory, the art of waking the master with music at dawn. So, all these things together in different ways and combinations create the beautiful and captivating activities that Radha and the gopis and Krishna engage in Goloka. So it's very sweet, very beautiful.